Another one who's another great mind and a great guy and so popular, and I think he's right. He wants to make people healthy. It's driven him pretty wild over the last number of years, and the Democrats didn't treat him well. He was doing fantastically well, and I think they came out with some rule that you had to do this, Mike. You had to get 70 or 75% of the vote to qualify to be in the primary. That was a pretty tough thing to get. And he was doing incredibly well, and he decided he can't do it, went independent. Now he's with us all the way. And today I nominated him for, I guess, if you like health and if you like people that live a long time, it's the most important position, RFK Jr.
There you go. He also announced that former congressman and friend of the program here, Doug Collins, is going to be the next Secretary of Veterans Affairs. Doug is a veteran himself, of course, and he currently serves as a chaplain in the United States Air Force Reserve, and he fought for our country in the Iraq War. He's also just a solid guy, and it's going to be great to see what he can do with the VA. Let's welcome in now President and Executive Editor at the Daily Signal, Rob Bluey, also a friend of the program. Rob, great to see you.
Good to see you, John. Thanks for having me back.
All right. Well, I mean, we got a lot to talk about here. Kick it back to you. Where do you want to start with these nominations so far?
Well, let's go back to Matt Gaetz just for a moment. I find it quite comical in a certain way that there are so many Republicans who seem to be expressing doubts when 20 Republicans, including John Cornyn, Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, you can go down the list, voted for Merrick Garland's confirmation as Attorney General under Joe Biden. I mean, they essentially voted for the man who has weaponized DOJ, and now they're expressing doubts about Donald Trump's pick. I just don't understand what's going on. Donald Trump, I think, will get Matt Gaetz through, just like he will get Doug Collins through and Pete Hegseth through. All of this flustering you see in the media, I think, is all just, a spectacle. And at the end of the day, you need 50 Republicans plus J.D. Vance's tie-breaking vote, and he'll get the job done.
Yeah. I read this article from Molly Hemingway in The Federalist, and people want to know why Matt Gaetz. Everyone was so shocked by this, but she starts out by writing that, quote, when Adam Schiff held secret meetings, selectively releasing information and lied about coordination with the so-called whistleblower during the Ukraine impeachment hearings, it was Gaetz that led a group of congressmen in protest. Following the January 6, 2021 riot at the Capitol, it was Gaetz who defended the concerns about election integrity and reminded Democrats of their support of nationwide riots in the preceding summer. When Liz Cheney received praise from Beltway insiders for leading a small group of Republicans to join the Democrats in the second impeachment of President Trump, it was Gaetz who immediately went to Wyoming to rally Republicans. And that's kind of the point here, Rob. I mean, if you're going to find a loyal foot soldier, and that's what Donald Trump wants at the Justice Department, if you're going to have somebody in that position who's going to reform the entire department, it's got to be somebody like Gaetz, who has not been afraid to get out in front of the tip of the spear.
That's right, John. And what you've seen across the board with all of these picks, I think, are people who are going to come in and shake up the way business is done in Washington, D.C. I think that that's the mandate that the American people sent on Election Day. They sent Donald Trump back to Washington, D.C. because they were tired of the status quo under the Joe Biden, Kamala Harris regime, and they want to see things done differently. Now, does that mean that that is going to be in conformity with the establishment and those who are accustomed to how things are operating in Washington, D.C.? Absolutely not. And that's why you see the media attacking Matt Gaetz and some of these other nominees. That's why you see these establishment old guard Republicans coming out and making some comments that they are questioning whether or not they'll meet confirmation. But again, 20 Republicans voted for Joe Biden's Attorney General who has weaponized the DOJ. Yeah. If those same Republicans can't vote for Matt Gaetz, I don't understand how they can have an R behind their name.
Yeah, and sometimes, you look at what's going on with Merrick Garland and other figurheads at the Justice Department before, and you think about the people that really have done the damage, people like Lisa Monaco, who's there now, and you could talk about Peter Strzok or Andrew McCabe. These folks, these are powerful positions. That's what, we talked about earlier about Todd Blanche. He's going to be in one of those positions as well where he can have a counterbalancing effect, hopefully. All right, Rob, we got more to talk about in just a little bit. We'll talk more about some of those nominations and more. Rob's coming back with us. In the meantime,